Hello everyone, welcome to today's micro lecture. Today, we focus on the system diagram among the new 7 tools for quality management. Before officially starting, I want to ask you a question first. When you face a very complex problem, for example, the rate of defective products has increased and customer complaints have risen, or the project progress is frequently delayed, do you feel overwhelmed and at a loss? Have you ever tried drawing a cause and effect diagram? But it was found that there were too many branches. Still can't see the main point? Actually, there is a tool that can help us systematically expand our goals and means. Turn vague goals into executable measures. This is the system diagram. In simple terms, the system diagram is to systematically expand and organize the objectives and the means necessary to achieve them, layer by layer. Finally, a chart is drawn. It resembles a tree growing upside down. The top is the goal. It branches downwards into increasingly specific measures. Each branch clearly answers. In order to achieve the goal, what do we need to do? What else should we do? Ultimately, it comes down to who will do it and when. This decomposition makes abstract goals concrete and feasible. It becomes a powerful tool for communication and management. There is an illustrative saying, "The system diagram is an inverted causality diagram." That is, an inverted fishbone diagram. The cause and effect diagram seeks the cause from the problem. The system diagram seeks means from the purpose. The two are logically interconnected and complement each other in form. Learn to transform and apply. It can make quality analysis more comprehensive. For example, in the cause and effect diagram, we often list major categories of causes such as people, machines, materials, methods, environment, and testing. Then refine it layer by layer. The system diagram starts from the goal. To achieve this goal, what needs to be done? These two ways of thinking can be used interchangeably in practical quality management. When you find the root cause of the problem through the cause and effect diagram, the next step is to use system diagrams to expand on specific improvement measures. On the contrary, if you have already formulated an improvement plan using a system diagram, we can also use the cause and effect diagram in reverse to verify whether these measures cover all possible causes. Combine the two, the analysis is more rigorous. The action is more effective. The application scenarios of system diagrams are very extensive. When developing new products, it can be used to expand the design quality. Ensure that every design parameter has a clear source and basis. When formulating a quality assurance plan, capable of systematically expanding various quality activities, identify the control points of each link. It can also be used for causal analysis. Replace or supplement traditional causality diagrams. It is especially suitable for complex problems with long logical chains and multiple levels. In the process of expanding objectives and policies, the system diagram can help enterprises decompose their strategies layer by layer until every grassroots employee can understand their own tasks. In addition, it can also be used to clarify the functional boundaries between departments and management. Avoid overlapping or missing responsibilities. When addressing issues such as quality, cost, and delivery time, the creative scheme can also be developed through the system diagram. Draw on collective wisdom and refine at every level. In short, in all scenarios where objective measure decomposition is applied, regardless of its size, the system diagram can come in handy, even in personal learning and life planning. For example, preparing for an exam, completing a project, planning a trip. The system diagram can also help us clarify our thoughts and improve efficiency. Next, let's talk about the characteristics of system diagrams. First, the unfolding process is very convenient. Whether it's complex corporate strategic objectives, it's still a simple problem encountered in daily work. It can be quickly disassembled through the system diagram. Ensure that no key links are omitted and no work is duplicated. Secondly, the system diagram is easy to unify team opinions. In practical work, members in different positions and with different backgrounds often have different understandings of the same issue. It is easy to lead to communication differences and execution deviations. The system diagram, on the other hand, is presented in the form of a visual chart. Correspond the objectives with measures layer by layer. Everyone can see the overall logic at a glance. Thus, it becomes easier to reach a consensus. Finally, the difficulty of organizing system diagrams is low, and the methods are clear at a glance. Even for those without a professional background in quality management, you can also quickly grasp the key points of the system diagram. Understand the purpose and function of each measure. This not only improves the work efficiency within the team, it is also convenient for reporting and communicating with management or external stakeholders. You could say the system diagram is a quality management tool that is low threshold and high value. There are two types of system diagrams. The first type is the structural factor expansion type. The core logic is a cycle of purpose means new purpose, new means. For example, the purpose is to increase the product pass rate. The means is optimizing production processes. And optimizing the process has become a new goal. It is necessary to further expand on adjusting temperature and improving equipment accuracy, etc. It is suitable for multi-layer problems with complex causal relationships. The second type is method expansion. First, divide several main categories around the core theme. Then, we will break down the specific elements for each category. For example, enhancing customer satisfaction is divided into product quality, service response, reasonable price, etc. Then, we will refine them separately. It is suitable for content with clear classification and relatively independent elements. In practical use, one can flexibly choose or combine the two types according to the nature of the problem. Next is the key to practical operation, the steps for creating a system diagram. It is divided into 6 steps. Step 1. Define your goals. The goal must be specific and measurable. For example, the nonconformity rate has been reduced from 5% to within 2%. Instead of improving quality, the second step, propose means. Brainstorm all possible methods. List all without filtering. Step 3, evaluation method. Comprehensive evaluation is conducted from the perspectives of feasibility, effectiveness, cost, time, and risk. The optimal plan can be selected using scoring or voting methods. Step 4, draw a system diagram. Sort the filtered means by hierarchy. Use arrows to represent the correspondence between purpose means. Step 5. Confirm whether the goal can be fully achieved. Starting from the lowest level measures and working upwards. Check whether each measure effectively supports the upper level goal. If it is insufficient, return to the third step for adjustment. Step 6. Formulate an implementation plan. Clarify the progress, responsible person, and acceptance criteria for each measure. Ensure implementation on the ground. This step is crucial. Many system diagrams fail due to the lack of action planning. To make it more intuitive for everyone to understand, let's look at 2 typical cases. The first is a case study on the implementation of measures. The packaging of a certain food processing enterprise's products was damaged during transportation, with minimizing losses as the ultimate goal. Expand the first level of means. Change the material, use thicker ropes, double layer design, regular inspection. Change the material is further elaborated as select high-strength nylon material and conduct tensile testing. Regular inspection is expanded into creating a daily inspection checklist, designating responsible persons, and abnormality reporting procedures. After layer by layer decomposition, the vague term strengthening packaging has been transformed into an operable task. Effectively reduce transportation losses. The second is a case study focusing on factor expansion. A certain company optimizes the user experience of its telephone inquiry machine. With the theme of telephone inquiry machine optimization, first, it is divided into categories such as information, content, instruction design, operation control, and voice prompts. Then, under information content, further subdivide into moderate length, clear signs, and common language. Under operational control, there are subdivisions such as button size, response speed, and anti-misjoina touch design. Systematically sort out, accurately locate weak links, and optimize them. Another example, food enterprises promote 5S management. Specific countermeasures are carried out for sorting, rectification, cleaning, sanitation, and quality. For example, organization corresponds to distinguishing between what is needed and what is not, disposing of discarded items, and establishing a cleaning cycle. Literacy corresponds to education and training, incentive mechanism, and regular assessment. In this way, 5S improvement is no longer an empty slogan. Finally, emphasize the precautions for using system diagrams. First, the system diagram is not only applicable to production and quality management, it is equally effective in scenarios such as office work, team management, and personal goal planning. For example, planning career development or complex project steps. Second, the most basic measures must be specific. It can directly guide actions. For example, Zhongsang completed equipment calibration before May the 30th is much more specific than strengthen equipment management. When drawing, constantly ask yourself, can this measure be directly implemented? Who is the responsible person? Is there a specific timeline? If not, continue to decompose. Third, effective evaluation should be conducted on improvement measures. Comprehensively consider from the dimensions of actual effect, implementation difficulty, cost, and risk. An evaluation matrix can be established. The scheme with high effectiveness, easy implementation, and low cost is preferred. Regularly review and adjust the system diagram during implementation. Dynamic update. The system diagram seems simple. However, it is a powerful tool in quality management that can turn complexity into simplicity and achieve immediate results. It can help us clarify our thoughts, identify key points, and unify our actions. Let every goal have support. Every problem has a solution. I hope that through today's micro lecture, everyone can truly grasp the usage of the system diagram and actively try it in future studies and work.